Tonight on FRONTVINE. The many programs and projects of Yellowstone County Master Gardeners. FRONTVINE is here in the dark winter of Yellowstone County, searching for volunteer opportunities for Master Gardeners. Here's what we found.
The greenhouse demonstration garden area is relatively new at Metro Park and provides a place for master gardeners to plant and culture trellis and square-foot gardens in a greenhouse environment. The greenhouse gives us at least a zone or two expansion of our growing season, allowing us to grow longer season crops such as okra and melons, and to get more harvest out of crops such as tomatoes and winter squash. And it also gives us the opportunity to experiment with other unique crops and growing systems like hydroponic gardening. The square-foot demonstration garden at Metro Park provides the perfect opportunity for master gardeners to experience and practice Mel Bartholomew's specialized gardening technique. This project offers several ways to plug in. First, the outer garden beds are mass planted in spring to present an overview of what specific 4x4 planted crops look like. For example, 16 cabbage plants thriving in a 4-foot by 4-foot growing area. Second, there are 9 inner raised 4x4 competition planting boxes. Master gardeners use their imagination and creativity to utilize this space, demonstrating just how much can be grown in a small garden. A bonus, these gardens are judged and prizes awarded to the winners. Third is the weekly watering project, great for those with time limits. Master gardeners select week slots where they daily hand water these gardens and keep an eye out for any challenges that may arise. Fourth is general weeding and culturing of the outer gardens throughout the garden season. Fifth, garden cleanup, either in fall or spring, depending on the season.
The Metro Education and Demonstration Garden is designed to educate master gardeners and the public in several different areas of gardening. There is a children's garden, a xeric garden, a pollinator garden, an herb garden, a perennial garden, a ground cover garden, a rose garden, a bulb garden, a straw bale garden, cover crop bed, and a raised bed. The gardens are located in the southeast corner of the Metro Fairgrounds parking lot between the 4-H building and the Nile building. We will have planting and work days scheduled in the spring and fall. Volunteers are encouraged to adopt one or more of the gardens. The parking lot is open most of the time during the summer, so volunteers can work in the gardens at any time during the day and any time during the week. There is a sprinkler system to make watering easier. The produce is donated to the family services.
9 gardens, large and small, dot the landscape at the zoo, all connected by an extensive trail system that winds through the natural beauty of the zoo grounds. The gardens are a complement to the zoo environment, welcoming people, young and old, to enjoy the color and awaken the senses. Our gardens are an important piece of Zoo Montana's operations, creating an inviting and essential backdrop of countless weddings, private events, and personal memorials. We truly believe it is vital to promote understanding, conservation, and enjoyment of gardens, plants, and the natural world through educational programs and hands-on participation in diverse activities.
The Yellowstone County Master Gardeners and Thumb Our Green Garden Club host an annual flower show held at the D.A. Davidson Building in downtown Billings in late summer during the farmers market. The judged show is free to enter and to view and is usually seen by over 1,000 people during the farmers market. The purpose of the flower show is to educate the public, to stimulate interest in horticultural and floral design, to provide an outlet for creative expression, and to communicate the National Garden Club's goals and objectives. There are 5 divisions in the show: horticulture, which is judged for growing excellence, an example being a perfect rose; designs, which are judged according to art principles; educational exhibits, which are judged for educational value; botanical arts, which allows additional opportunities for exhibiting creativity; and youth projects. A show schedule is produced ahead of time and is available to master gardeners and the public. It includes all information and details for exhibiting in the show. This 2-day show is put together by volunteers from both organizations, with each master gardener receiving volunteer hours for their time. The flower show conforms to standards established by the National Garden Club and is judged by panels of 3 National Garden Club trained judges. Having received awards from the National Garden Club, we are proud of the high-quality shows we have in Billings. Paul Scapari has taken over the duties at the courthouse planter by the Veterans Memorial in downtown Billings along with 6 other people. It has been a rewarding experience for him because Paul is a U.S. Army vet who enjoys keeping the Veterans Memorial Garden planted with flowers. If you would like to be part of this group of gardeners who keeps this memorial garden planted with flowers, watered, weeded, mulched, and maintained during the summer months, we would love to have you join us in this very worthy endeavor. Planning for this garden usually starts in January when we decide what flowers we would like to plant for the coming summer. The theme last year was red, white, and blue, utilizing geraniums, sunpatiens, and lobelias, which we planted among existing perennials. The plants for the garden are bought around the 1st of May, hardened off, and planted when the water is turned on around the end of May. We then tend the garden until the water is turned off around the middle of October.
The Billings Public Library provides excellent service and community outreach to Yellowstone County and beyond. The librarians are always enthusiastic to work with us.
Volunteers with the Adult Library Garden Series will work with the Master Gardener Coordinator and the librarians to set up free informative education classes given by fellow Master Gardeners or other gardening experts.
For those of you who like working with children, the library's children's program would be a great project for you. As a volunteer, you will work closely with the Master Gardener Library Children's Program Coordinator and the children's librarians to host activities once a quarter.
These activities are in conjunction with the Library Discover the Fun program that are held directly after story time.
Story times are usually held Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 11 to 11:30 a.m.
Volunteers are asked to pick one of those days to develop and lead a short lesson and gardening activity for children ages 3 to 5 years. If you prefer working with older children, you can develop a gardening lesson for the library's Junior Tween program,
which is usually held one day a week from 4 to 5 p.m.
Information booths are one of Master Gardener's best outreach opportunities.
This is where you will meet some great people and learn even more about gardening.
2 or more Master Gardeners set up and share research-based educational materials from MSU Bozeman and connect the public to both the Master Gardener program and the Yellowstone County Extension Service. Our community now looks for our booths at places like the Downtown Farmers Market, Healthy by Design, Gardeners Market, Metro Fair Time, Pompey's Pillar, and others.
Farmers Market is a lot of fun, and the people who volunteer are the best.
We set up an information table and help with gardening questions. We have an activity for kids attending the market.
This is also a wonderful opportunity to learn, as fellow gardeners love to share their stories as well as hints and tips for growing.
The Moss Mansion Historic House Museum is well known. It is a venue each year for numerous outdoor weddings, as well as the Art and Craft Festival Springfest, and a number of other special events. The mansion welcomes master gardeners and other gardeners from the community in its ongoing efforts to beautify and maintain the gardens and grounds. Volunteers are involved from April through the summer and fall. Volunteers have the opportunity to work with other master gardeners, sharing knowledge and ideas. There are many areas where a master gardener can make a difference. Volunteer gardening sessions generally take place on weekday mornings. Please come join us in the gardens at the Moss. We would love to have your help.
The gardens at Home on the Range are located at 220 South 27th Street. We are a plant select test garden featuring several species developed through this program. The building and landscape were designed with conservation and efficiency in mind. Our landscaping strives to be naturally resilient and drought-tolerant. On the south side of the building, we have drought-tolerant perennial plants that thrive in our climate. This area primarily needs weeding, pruning, and basic maintenance. Along the north side of the building, we have 2 large areas divided by a walkway. There is a border of native plants that thrive in our climate along either side. Again, we focus on weeding, pruning, and dividing to contain spread. To the west of the walkway, we have created a demonstration area of edible landscapes using different styles of raised beds. We will need help with planting, tending, and harvesting the raised beds throughout the season. We are also capturing data on the beds, comparing the inputs, pollinator activity, and harvests. This year, we are renovating the area east of the walkway, and in keeping with our agricultural roots, we are going to focus on soil monitoring and employing techniques that improve soil health and natural resilience. We are reworking the swale and walkway and expanding the small patio. There will be volunteer and educational opportunities at different phases of the project.
FRONTVINE is here at the offices of Gardener and Farmer, attorneys at law, discovering even more volunteer opportunities for Yellowstone County Master Gardeners.
Gardens is an oasis on the south side of Billings. We offer almost 2 acres of carefully manicured flower beds, statues, walking paths, fountains, and a whole lot more. We are currently working to obtain our botanical garden status, which involves a lot of plant labeling and record keeping. The day-to-day operations require constant attention from a very small staff. Daily chores include watering, deadheading old blooms, clearing out the seasonal plants, and maintaining the pathways, structures, and fences. Of course, we need a little bit of extra help in April and May to get ready for our seasonal opening, and again in October preparing the beds for winter. We are so thankful to the Yellowstone County Master Gardeners Association for any help provided to maintain these gardens. We hope that by volunteering here, you would learn more about native and regional plants in a peaceful setting and enjoy the camaraderie of other people who share your interests. It is our belief that every garden has to evolve. We have plans for improving many areas of the gardens, putting in new points of interest for our visitors. This year we hope to add a living wall, renovate the parterre garden, and enlarge the front garden into the adjacent property, and adding a few seating areas for our guests to relax and enjoy the views.
St. Andrew Community Gardens invites you to join us in a shared passion of raising fresh vegetables and enjoying the bounty of our gardens. The garden is located along Cook Avenue, just west of 24th Street West, behind St. Andrew Presbyterian Church and opposite West High School in Billings. The two primary features are a half-acre plot garden and a half-acre mission garden following organic principles. The plot garden has 104 plots which include raised, handicapped, and wheelchair-accessible beds, as well as demonstration herb beds that are available to anyone in the community. The mission garden, which grows over 20 different varieties of crops, is a second major feature of the community garden where master gardeners looking to build volunteer hours can get involved. There are work days on the weekends in the spring and fall for all gardeners, volunteers, and their families to work together. We also have a greenhouse in which we grow over 400 seedlings to plant in the mission garden. We prepare raised beds in the mission garden each year to make row crops easier to plant, weed, and harvest. We are just beginning to install permanent raised beds that will reduce the labor involved and increase the quantity and quality of the produce. Harvesting is a rewarding time of the year where volunteers are welcome. All produce is donated to local agencies such as the Family Services and the Rescue Mission. We also make our produce available to people in need through the weekly Gardeners Market in South Park, the Tumbleweeds Program, senior centers, and the Veterans Meat Locker Program. There are several features of the garden, including an orchard apiary with several beehives and a labyrinth under a grove of trees. The garden sponsors workshops that are open to the public and cover various garden topics. We also gather for activities including picking apples and pears to make juice and cider, which we enjoy at an annual harvest dinner.
Amen Community Garden. We always have volunteer opportunities available each year, and we've had master gardeners help us out in previous years, which has been very helpful and much appreciated. This garden started in 2014 as a collaboration between the Billings Parks and Recreation Department and the Billings Metro Vista Project. The south side of Billings is considered to be a food desert, so the idea with this garden is that it gives residents the opportunity to grow their own fresh and affordable food. Currently, we have 44 individual plots at the garden, as well as 8 communal plots, a variety of communal fruit trees, and other garden structures. The first opportunity is being a garden mentor. The next volunteer opportunity is to help install a pollinator garden. Labeling communal plots to mark each plot provides helpful information for visitors. There has never been a huge composting culture at the garden, but we would like to cultivate this. We are actually having new bins installed this upcoming year. We host a variety of workshops. We also have odd jobs that arise throughout each growing season.